Are you
Hey
counting to
everybody,
15?
how you doing? It's Golden and my co-host here, Maritsa. Welcome to Biracial Voices on the Biracial Voices channel. How's everybody doing? So tonight we're going to talk about how mixed does not equal confused. But first we're going to kind of give our backstory a little bit. Maritsa, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Do I sound good?
Oh, I can't hear you.
Why?
Oh no,
Why? What happened? Hello?
we've got a technical difficulty here.
Oh my god, how? It was just
Are
fine.
you on mute?
Hello? Bruh.
That is super weird. Do you want to go out and come back in, maybe?
Yeah, let me try that.
Like we just had it, guys. we do a technical test before we open our show, and it was working fine before. I don't know what happened. Her mic just cut out, so we'll just wait for her to come back. Um, but I guess while we're waiting, we'll have people come in and get comfortable, and so we can start our discussion. Jay, hopefully you can let her back in when she comes up. Let's see.
Hi. Can you
Hi,
hear me
there we
now?
go. All
I
right.
don't understand what happened. I didn't click anything.
That was super weird. It just like shut off all of a sudden, right?
I'm so sorry. Do I sound good? Okay. Do I sound
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. You sound totally fine. Actually, you sound really good.
Okay.
So I was saying, yeah, I want to kind of
Sorry.
let us introduce ourselves a bit. Tell our story, and so they can know where we're coming from. Do you want to go first, ladies first?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Um, I'm Maritsa Harris. I'm 21. I was born and raised in northern Minnesota, and I guess my dad's black and my mom's white. I guess that's like pretty much it. I grew up with both of my parents. They're still, married, and I have two other siblings. I'm the middle child, and my childhood was actually pretty great. I didn't really have any issues being mixed or biracial or mulatto. I never really had a strong feeling about it till I started getting online in the past year or so and seeing that we need to like build a community just to have people see that they have representation and that other people go through what they go through. So I guess that's a
Right.
little bit about me.
What's your major in college right now? I know you're about to
I-
graduate.
I'm a political science major at ASU.
Very good. So yeah, Maritza and I have a lot in common actually because we kind of grew up the same. We have a TikTok page called Suburban Mulattoes because we're extremely suburban. Obviously, we're both from private school and both raised with two parents in the home. My parents are, I think they're about to celebrate their 40th very shortly. I'm 30 years old, so they had
Congrats, Golden.
a
Happy
10-year head
birthday,
start.
Golden.
Yeah, I just had my birthday too.
Happy
Was that
birthday.
Thursday? Yeah, my 30th birthday Thursday, so that was nice. But yeah, we kind of very similar. I was raised in Tampa, Florida, and moved to Charleston, South Carolina, several years ago. And I've been here in Mount Pleasant ever since, which is, I got to tell you, it's the best place on earth to live. Condé Nast also agrees, as they voted Charleston the best place to live in the U.S., which is great. Um, but I went
Always
to
have to
US.
flex that.
Yeah, I always have to flex that. I went to USF after private school, and I got my degree in graphic arts. I forgot the actual title of it, but yeah, graphic arts basically, and marketing, right? And I just joined the online space a few months ago. Actually, we were doing lives and stuff together on several different panels, and decided to collaborate and create Suburban Mulattoes. And then the our producer here, he hooked us up with our new show here on Biracial Voices. So we're glad to do this, and we're going to be doing this every week. I think Sundays at 8. We're doing it today because tomorrow is obviously the Super Bowl. So we want you guys to be with your family.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, also, so something. interesting about me growing up is that I grew up with biracial cousins. So all my cousins were also mixed, just like me, right? So, and just like Maritza, we both have always identified as being biracial. We've never known anything else. We've never sided with one over the other because we had a very strong um, uh, understanding of who we were from the beginning, basically, right?
Right. I did not have biracial cousins. I only have one first cousin, which is funny because, I'm Greek, and Greek people are supposed to have big families. But my mom was an only child, and my dad only has one brother, so I just have one cousin.
Yeah. So my mom's side is of German descent, and my dad's side is Gullah Geechee descent from here in South Carolina. So I grew up respecting both cultures and having them handed down to me, you know, uh, totally intact, which is beautiful. And I really want mixed people to really feel a sense of themselves and take pride in both of their cultures. Also, another thing that we try to do is we try to emphasize ethnicity over race, right? So
Mhm.
even though we are black and white, but we are, we're German and African American or German and Gullah Geechee, you know what I'm saying? We emphasize the ethnicity, and she is your Greek Cypriot,
Yeah.
and how do you how do you say it?
What? Just Black American.
Black
Yeah.
American and Greek Cypriot.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about my Black American roots because my family was a part of they were down south in New Orleans, and so
Yeah,
during Katrina, a lot of the records were lost, and then my dad's mother ended up in New York, and so I'm not sure how she got there. So I'm still trying to figure out mine. So I would just say I'm Black American just because I lost some of those records.
right. So Black American and Greek Cypriot, and then I'm Black American and German, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically it there. I wanted to say something else. What was I gonna say? Um, I really can't remember. Something else about our story. Um, Anyways, here we are, biracial voices, and we're gonna do this every week. So our topic tonight is mixed does not equal confused. And we've got several points about this, but we're going to also bring people up from the panel, bring people up on the panel from the chat, rather. So you guys can discuss this with us and we can have a conversation or debate topic or whatever. My first point here is the myth of confusion. Okay. And most of this is about outsider projection. The confused label usually comes from people who are uncomfortable with complexity, not from mixed people themselves, right? So I have an example here. Usually, when we're on TikTok and we're doing debates, especially like on Black TikTok, and they have debates on their TikTok Live, there's a thing now where they're talking about okay, well, they ask what race you are basically, and so you're like, okay, I'm biracial. All right, well, biracial is not a race, they say. Okay, well, biracial is the descriptor for being combined with two races, right? And so then they're like, it's just kind of convoluted. But then they kind of force you into, are you a black biracial or are you a white biracial? Because you can only be like they're very rigid with the racial descriptions, right? And they think that nobody can ever be in the middle. Like we're not blended people, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's a problem. And then identity is not equal to indecision. Knowing you're both black and white doesn't mean you're unsure. It means you're aware of all parts of yourself. It's very important to know who you are. Obviously, we when we're born, we know, hey, mom's white, dad's black, or mom's black, dad's white. That's who we are. You can't let anybody else tell you who you are. Okay. And then social pressure. Society often pushes biracial people to pick a side, which creates tension. But that's an external issue, not internal confusion. Okay. Here's a good analogy: is if you speak another language, being bilingual doesn't mean you're confused about what language you speak. It means that you have range, right?
Mhm.
My other point here is the reality of dual perspective. Cultural fluency. Mixed people often navigate multiple spaces, black, white, and in between, which builds empathy and adaptability. Okay. And then awareness and not confusion. Understanding how both sides of your heritage view race can actually give you more clarity about identity. All right. And then we also have, as biracial people, we have a double consciousness. Okay. We're not just one dimensional. So, um, uh, Du Bois, he mentioned how biracial people live with a heightened racial awareness, similar to what he described for Black Americans. But we see the world from multiple lenses because we're multi-dimensional, basically. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that that's like super true. Actually, back on TikTok, I remember Andre, he was saying how he always felt comfortable in
Yeah,
all spaces, in all groups, and that's truly how I felt. Is I've always been well, I went to an international college preparatory high school, so we had dorms on our campus, and we had a lot of international students, and I had a lot of exchange students, and it was super easy for me to like connect to them, to be able to move through different spaces. So they genuinely sometimes the assumption that we're confused, it's like we're not confused. We're, multivert like we're talented in many different spaces. We
we're
can always interact.
multi-dimensional.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can be around lots of different people and relate to them because we're not made up of just one culture.
exactly. It makes you kind of flexible, to be honest.
Yeah, I really agree with that. 100%.
Okay, point three is community, belonging, and exclusion. Feeling not enough, how both sides can sometimes question authenticity, not black enough or not white enough. Internal validation. True confidence comes from defining your identity yourself, not waiting for permission from either side, right? So, like I said, on some of these TikTok lives, they're like they ask to see your phenotype or whatever. You can't let somebody tell you who the hell you are, obviously, because
Right.
everyone's going to have a different answer. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They're going to squint at you and be like, "Oh, I see this, I see that." But like at the end of the day, you are who you are, and you have to know who you
Right.
are.
Should I switch it up per person? Like, I feel like that's like the response to that. So race is how people view me and how they view my phenotype. So if someone comes up to me and starts speaking, I don't know, Spanish, I'm gonna be like, I don't like, should I learn every language? Like that's kind of the
Right.
expectation. I'm like, so I should just be able to not I can blend into many different spaces, but should I adopt the culture of every space to now fit your definition? I don't think I should do that. No, of course
Exactly.
not.
We have a video on our Suburban Mulattoes TikTok page. Sienna Hubert Ross, she's a comedian,
Mhm.
and she's half black and half white, right? But she looks fully Asian, so it's like when people see her, they see an Asian woman. So like at the end of the day, like, are you supposed to pretend to be Asian to make people feel better about them? About who they think you are or whatever? It's really weird. You have to just be yourself. You
Right.
can't just change yourself depending on the situation. That's not authentic, right?
And you can't help how you look either. Clearly, I know how I look, right? I would say I favor my European side. I look like a lot of my Cypriot cousins,
Yeah,
but that I'm not gonna just toss aside my dad's entire side of his family to make other people feel comfortable. I don't care. It's not my
yeah,
problem. It's theirs.
100%. Internal validation. True confidence comes from defining your identity yourself, not waiting for permission from either side. Representation matters. Seeing more biracial creators, actors, and writers help normalize complex identity, not as confusion, but as wholeness. We are whole people. We're not half and half. Okay. So sometimes we get like this even the language of being mixed or biracial, it's very like I don't know, it's kind of like vague, right?
Mhm.
We have to start, I don't know, figuring out a way to present ourselves as whole people rather than just like this bifurcated idea where someone can just relate to us depending on whatever they are. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like whatever half you're feeling that day.
Yeah,
It's just like not how it is, not how it works.
right. Um, 4, mixed identity as clarity, not conflict. Integration over division. Embracing both heritage fully is the goal. Unity within yourself is powerful. Strength and complexity. Identity doesn't have to fit into one box. It can be layered, flexible, and intentional. And then authenticity, like we were saying. You don't have to reject one side to honor the other. You can celebrate both. Here's a good quote. Confusion is when you don't know who you are. Being mixed is knowing you're more than what people expect.
It's a good quote.
Do you have anything you want to add?
No, I mean, I feel like what's funny is that to me, this is like the most common sense way of thinking. I'm like, this is like, it's so easy. Like, of course, this makes sense. It's just kind of hard for me to imagine how other people are so strong willed that they don't even, like, they can't grasp this concept that to me is so easy.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Growing up is like we always knew who we were, and we never really had any pushback, you know. And so I have to hold space for people who don't have that same experience, you know.
Right, of course.
And I'm trying to understand, you know, where they're coming from, whether depending on how they were raised or not. But sometimes people are just raised on one side, you know. And
Right.
I have to keep that in mind as well. Hey, NSVS NSV Sid, forget how to say your handle there.
No, you can just say NSV.
NSV. Okay. This is
Yes. How
our
did y'all
buddy from
add
TikTok.
pictures? Yes.
If you click on your little profile, that little blank icon, you can upload your picture.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. I just got in and I was listening to what y'all had to say, and I found it super, um, informative and rich and everything. So just wanted to join in and chit chat.
Well, I'll have you chime in on some of these talking points then for sure.
Okay.
So the next one is 5, the psychological angle. Okay, identity development. Psychologists note that biracial individuals often reach a stronger sense of self once they integrate both racial backgrounds. Okay, you're never going to know who you truly are unless you embrace who you truly are, and you
Agreed.
can't let people tell you who you are. Resilience. Growing up between worlds builds adaptability, emotional intelligence, and social awareness. And then breaking stereotypes, refusing the confused label helps rewrite the narrative for the next generation of mixed kids. And that's really why we're here. Everything that we go through, all the all the BS that happens on TikTok and the nasty comments, we're doing all this for our kids, for the next generation.
Mhm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Old stigma. The confused stereotype comes from a history of racial purity ideas. People couldn't process both. Okay. Now, the modern shift, today's generation of biracial people is reclaiming the narrative, defining mixed identity as empowerment, not pathology. And then language matters. A lot of us are reclaiming mulatto as a sign of pride and standing with our historical predecessors who had their own communities. Let's be conscious of the descriptors we use. Obviously, mixed is a colloquial, and biracial is politically correct. But both of those terms obfuscate who we actually are, since any two races can be mixed or biracial. Also, saying we're half of this and half of that diminishes the way we stand fully in both of our identities. Be intentional. I'm black and white, or even ethnically, I'm Jamaican and English, or German and black. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then confidence and complexity. Being biracial isn't about confusion, it's about being multi-dimensional. Push back, challenge stereotypes when you hear them. And then my final thought here is I'm not confused about who I am. I'm just not limited to who you think I should be.
I like that.
Yeah, we're kind of the gray in a black and white society. And I don't mean that like, like it obviously it kind of fits, but like it's these rules are very like restrictive. The way that these racial structures are in the United States and in Western countries, like it's very much like very strict rules, and we're the gray. Like we
Yeah.
just really don't fit in, and that's why it's important that we push back and we're honest about it and we're like, no, this is who we are, and that we don't fall into the one drop rule or fall into just how we phenotypically present. Because if I were to do that, I guess I don't know, I'm ambiguous, so I would have to, but
Yeah, I
they
think we
definitely
all
don't
are.
say I'm black, so I'd have to deny half of my family, and I'm just not willing to do that.
All three of us are pretty ambiguous.
I agree.
Yes, and we're very peach colored. So
We
no,
still
I
have to
like
learn
it.
some
I'm looking at all of
Spanish.
our icons.
I think Spanish
I
will help
know.
us.
Can I can I I wasn't sure. I don't want to mess up your flow.
No, my
Uh,
flow is up. My flow's done, so we can
oh,
go ahead and talk.
okay, your flow is done. All right. No, I I wanted to add. Okay, dang, I wanted to add so many things. Okay, number one, we don't have to simplify ourselves so that other people feel more comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with the answer that they're receiving. Obviously, people are always going to ask us who we are. Normally, they ask what we are, which is very inhumane, and they will always, have follow up questions because they're not going to trust the answer or accept the answer, and they believe that they know better than us who we are, which
Yeah,
is one of the most annoying and just
that's very frustrating.
very frustrating things because I've known who I was since, well, maybe not birth, but I have a distinct memory of being a child looking at my mom, who's white, and being like, oh, and then looking at my dad, who's black, and being like, oh, okay, so they're different, you know? And
Did
I've,
you always identify as biracial?
so, define always, like at what age? Or do you mean as
Um,
an adult?
I mean, from consciousness, basically, even as a kid.
Yeah, because I guess like for me, like right when race used to like be a thing, my like my first step was like I was in high school, and there was like a bunch of people wearing like Blue Lives Matter stuff during like America Week or whatever, like for Spirit Week, and a lot of people
Oh
like
yeah,
got upset about it, and that was like a huge issue at my school, was how conservative it was.
yeah,
And so I feel like that's like when I was like, hold on, but I'm not black. Well, you know? So I guess
yeah,
maybe like I just like it never really was an issue for me, but I always like kind of just knew like my dad looks like that, my mom looks like that.
Yeah, same for me. I
yeah.
mean, I've always known for sure, and I've had my cousins as well. So we were a strong family unit, and we all identified the same, and so that just made us more strong in who we were. We have a
Yeah.
commenter down there that asks what happens when mixed people have babies. I'm assuming he means, or they mean, with each other. What happens when we have kids with each other? Oh, obviously, we just create more of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's us squared, okay?
And we're better equipped to raise those kids
Much better equipped to
than our
raise the
own
Right.
kids.
parents. Yeah. Which is crazy to think like some of us are gonna be like the first generation, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
those kids that come next, they're gonna be like so damn lucky.
Well, they
We
won't
have
have
a
to deal
wealth of
with
knowledge.
yeah, well, they won't have to deal with,
Yes.
white mom or whatever. The whole, well, your mom's white or whatever, like
Right.
that whole rhetoric, they won't have to deal with it because they can just be like, well, both my parents are mixed, so what am I now?
Right.
Right. You
Or even if they have the
don't get a
opposites, right? Like
stereotype.
one side, so the husband's got a black mom and the wife's got a white
Yeah,
mom.
wife, yeah. So they
Right.
have each grandma and each grandpa, so there's no
Exactly.
issue there.
Right. Yeah, but essentially what happens is we just produce more of the same. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty simple. I was going to ask you, NSVS,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about the issues you've been having with TikTok and
Oh
a
god.
lot of your pushback.
Yeah. We were chatting earlier, and yes, and we chatted before on lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know where to even begin. I would say that as a child, going back to the earlier point, as a child, right, I knew who I was, and then as an adolescent, I went through the whole baloney. Then as a young adult, I went through the baloney again, and I thought, okay, finally, I'm 30 years old. It's over. I'm never gonna have to
Yeah.
face this again. I finally grew up, and they said, don't worry. Once you get older, people will stop bothering you. And here I am in my 30s, my early 30s, and I'm on the internet, every single social media: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, which I recently stopped doing Twitter because of what's his name. And, all of them, it's like, damn, the biracial hatred is so bad that we need to address it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, it's gotten to the point where it's no longer just like, oh, those little light skinned girls think they're all that. Now it's
Yeah,
like,
it's not a joke anymore.
it's not a joke anymore. And it's getting to the point that I'm like literally scared of some of these comments. Like,
what kind of comments do you get that are like?
I mean,
can you name some like the really bad ones?
yes, it's really the overall ethos. Look at me being fancy. It's the overall ethos of the rhetoric, because I've never gotten like, okay, I'll be real, I've never gotten like there's no censored words on here, is there?
No, we asked our producer the same thing.
Oh,
We're
okay.
fine to cuss. You're fine.
Okay, well, I was gonna say death threats. I know on
Yeah.
TikTok you can't say that. I was gonna say unalive threats, but I've never gotten that. But it's just like, it's a level of bullying that's on the verge of aggression, and you feel like if you were to have this conversation in real life and it got to that level, I think it would get physical.
Yeah.
And that scares me, that a person would let themselves become physically violent towards me for literally marking my line in the sand and saying, "This is who I am."
What I find interesting too is that when we're out in public and stuff and interacting with people, we don't really know what they're thinking in their head, right? But then we get online, and then all of a sudden we're confronted with real thoughts that are kind of scary, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
Are people out there really thinking this stuff about us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this became a whole thing for me years ago when I first got into this stuff, because I was never big into social media until a few years ago, and I got on here because I was looking for a biracial community. I started on Reddit. Do y'all use that mixed race sub?
I've heard of
No,
it before, but I haven't used it.
I have not been on Reddit, but we've heard about it.
Okay, and I think, even though Reddit is trash, such trash, I at least like that you get to defend your point with typing, as opposed to just like a handful of little snarky comments. So, but it was still very difficult. And I actually, maybe y'all know about this. And I'll reveal this, the big reveal. I actually made a separate biracial sub, and it got, did you know it? Multiracial reality?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I was gonna say, if anyone knew that, I was the creator. So, and everyone was going on there saying, yes, this is so much better than the R mixed race, because they are very pro monoracial over there, and they believe that our purpose, and this is what gets into deeper, darker stuff, our purpose as mixed race people is to help the causes of single race people, and specifically of color, right? That we are required to use our ambiguity, our passability, to make sure that their lives can be better. And I've always found that to be a conflict. But
yeah,
not to go
for sure. I don't want to play referee, to be honest. Really
don't. And I have to guard and defend my own life. But you were asking about the comments, and basically, and I was like, if we had, and you had said, I didn't know people were thinking this in real life. So that changed my whole outlook because I used to be so pro black, and I was like, I'm going to help black people and fight for black people, stand up for black people. And then I go online and I see these comments. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Like, fuck all of you. Yeah. Like, how dare
Right.
you say this about people just because they're biracial? And there's no escaping it. You can be biracial and look black. You can be biracial, have dark skin. They will say the same thing about you.
Yeah, that's true.
What's
And
going
and
on,
I
that's
hate
how
y'all?
that.
you
I
know
hate
it's
that it's
not about
building.
looks. Go ahead,
Yeah,
sorry.
I hate that it's building some kind of animosity too, because that's not good for either of us, the black
No.
Yeah.
community or the mixed race community. We really have to
And
try to come together.
we do. And let me just throw one thing in here. The last little point I was going to make. The proof is they care. They always try to claim racist phenotype, but as soon as you're a mixed person who looks monoracial, they will flip the script and say, "Oh, well, your DNA is not 100% black."
Yup.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I
so
get
that's
that.
my last little bit.
So let's welcome Mulatto Ronan.
What's going on, y'all?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here. I saw the live. I said,
Is
"Ooh,
your mic
let me
working
jump
okay?
on this." Because one more time.
Mulatto?
Yeah, you can hear me.
It's
You can hear
echoey.
me now. Oh, it's
A
echoing.
little
Hold on,
echoey.
let
Yeah.
Is he
me.
talking?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I
I'm
can't
gonna
hear
switch
anything.
my mic
Jay?
real quick.
Hmm.
One moment.
We couldn't.
Oh, can you hear now, Golden? I can hear.
I can hear you. I can't hear him though.
You can hear me now.
I can hear him.
I can hear you.
I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch
Oh,
my
now
mic
you're
real
really
quick.
clear.
Um,
Now you sound super clear.
oh, you can hear me now.
Okay, well, go
Yeah.
ahead, Mulatto.
Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot because I got two mics, so yeah.
Oh, that
But
sounds
yeah.
great, though. Your mic sounds amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I keep forgetting it's like I got my headset on, but I forgot to switch it to my other mic I use for my videos. So yeah, this is the studio mic. But yeah, I'm so glad to be here, and I just saw the live pop up, and I say, you know what? Let's go see what it's about because my experience growing up was just, because I grew up mostly around a lot of black people, and I was just told, well, hey, there's two types of blacks. There's the light skins and there's the dark skins, and that's what I was told. And but then I look at my family because I was really confused growing up because I just couldn't figure out why certain things would happen. Why is there certain narratives on a light skinned man? So, and it was weird too because like growing up, I started off living in Riverview out there in Florida for the first 5 years. I started off in the suburbs, and then it was kind of more diverse area, but I didn't notice the dynamics with the black community until I came more into Tampa and went to a black school for the first time, and it was very different, and I used to get home, I was just confused. I was like why? I just couldn't get it. And then as I gotten older, and I just had people say, oh, you're mixed, and you're like, are you mulatto? And my mom always said, no, like, nah, you're not mixed or nothing like that. And it's so weird in the black community because like we're so programmed as just light skin, dark skin. But then I started to do my research and started to really look at my family. And I know on my mom's side, she has some white farther down, I believe Irish. And then also, her sisters and them, I believe they have some Cuban. And then on my dad's side, he has white farther down. And even when I go see family, I see different races and everybody all together. So it's very multicultural. And it was more confusing for me because I didn't know the term MGM, multi-generational mix. And that's really the reason why there's light skins, because there is a generation of other biracials mixed together, and it's been like just a long generation. And me coming from Florida is so many different mixes. So, you got white, you got the Cubans, you got the Dominicans, and I just been learning so much more. Thank God for the internet, because in a Dominican Republic, if I were to go over there, I'll be considered a mestizo. And And just knowing that and knowing how the rest of the world views me, because in the black community, they will always tell you, well, the world is going to see you as black. Well, I'm listening to other people like Mulatto Mindset and other people out there who travel. And I even do my research with places like South Africa. If I go over there, they will be consider us as like coloreds, yeah, over there. And then not just South Africa, Namibia and other parts of Africa too. So that was really just my wake up call when I had seen all that happen, because I just couldn't figure out. I'm like, why is all this happening? Why do some people get upset when I call myself black and get angry? Why do some people, be like, oh yeah, you're good, it's no issue. So it would just, I was very confused growing up. But I literally didn't start to find myself until I got more older, like my early 20s, because I was just like, I thought, well, this is just the way it is, but I'm so glad for this content and coming across more content creators, because I had no idea. This was just a different world for me.
Yeah, it's about building community. We have to support each other and lean on each other.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed a lot of that exchange. I couldn't hear you in my monitor, and so Maritsa, do you want to follow up on anything he said?
No, well, I do want to hear a little bit more about your experience because, well, I know how Golden's experience was in the South, but I'm from up north, so I definitely had a very different experience. So it's interesting that it doesn't really matter where you are in the United States because we all relate to certain things, but we all have our different issues. So when it comes to people being like, "Oh, well, I've never had an issue in this state and I've never had an issue in this state." Well, it's like that's your personal experience, but other mixed race individuals, other mulattoes like us might have a different experience in that state. And so
Yeah.
I think it's important to take everyone's perspective and to validate everyone's experiences. So I guess if you want to talk a little bit more about how you think maybe the South might have influenced that for you.
Wait, what state are you from, Mulatto?
I'm originally from Florida. Yeah,
Okay,
Tampa to
so am
be
I.
exact. Yeah.
Hey, so am I. I grew up in
Yeah.
Brandon. I'm from
Oh,
Brandon.
awesome. Yeah, I'm actually
Yeah.
gonna be moving back home soon, like next month. So hey, yeah, probably see some of you guys or anybody in town, so yeah.
Well, I don't live there anymore. I live in South Carolina now, in
Oh,
Charleston.
okay.
But I did grow up in Brandon, near
Yeah.
Tampa. Yeah.
What
Go
about
ahead. I'll let you.
Maritza?
Me, I'm
Yeah.
from northern Minnesota, like basically Canada at that point.
Oh wow. And I'm from Maryland. I'm from the DC area.
I do have to say though, growing up in Tampa, I just remember it feeling multicultural.
Yeah.
So it was really never an issue for me growing up there.
It's it's weird. It's like on a day-to-day basis, it was pretty okay. But I would say it's weird. It's like when I'm around like other groups of people, it's really not as much of an issue. Every now and then I may, like, the most a white person is gonna do is maybe walk up and like compare their skin tone to mine when they get a tan. Like that. I swear it happened so much back when I lived in Florida.
Yeah, that's
Even
right.
growing up, even as a teenager, I'm like, it's like,
I'm darker than you.
yeah, it's like they just be so fascinated, So it's with
Right.
that. Like with white people, it's more out of like fascinating, like really just fascinating. And the black community is like, it's a mix. It's like, okay, we're good, everything's good, or you'll come across, something that's gonna be like, you ain't really, nah. It's like something don't sit right with them. It's almost like a threat, like you come around. And
Yeah, I
me,
mean,
it's like I'm not this dude that's like one of the things I had to realize with a lot of men, if you're a man that looks decent and you carry yourself decent as well,
yeah,
you're literally an instant threat, especially as you look decent and you're definitely light skinned mixed race. Because in the black community, it's like, oh, who does he think he is? And you would just get tested so much. And I'm like, dude, I'm not even trying to start no issues. And and it was either like Puerto Ricans used to test me a lot. or if black people try to text me a lot as well. Like I noticed that from definitely middle school. Middle school, I noticed it a lot. High school, here and there,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It was just weird. And even after high school, especially when I got back in the gym, Lord have mercy. Like that was when I saw like the most scrutiny from a lot of people. Not in Florida, but because currently I live in Texas,
Okay.
and it's like it's not a lot of people that's really in decent shape. And me being mixed, I'm walking around. I mean, man, like it's like the mean mugging from people I get on the regular basis. It's insane to me. I'm just like, dude, like relax. I'm just trying to grocery shop. It's but yeah,
Right.
I don't know what's driving it. I don't know is this the media or like I just wish people can just sit down and just talk to one another. I wish we can get back to those days.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
really wish people wouldn't just run what they will see on TV because for me as a light skinned man, you know, in the black community, it's so many stereotypes I had to fight off. And even my dad warned me, early on in life. He was like, "Hey, son, you're light skinned. You may have to throw hands a lot more than most people. You may have
That's
to keep your head."
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I just couldn't figure out why. I was like, "Dad, why is that?" It said, "Well, if you look like you can get woman, son, you just gotta be ready to fight at any times." So I grew up with a more survival type of mentality and just always very sharp with my surroundings at all times for that reason. So
Well,
I
what
mean,
what part
like,
of Tampa? What part of Tampa did you grow up in?
so I grew up in like around Jackson Heights, so like near Ybor
Okay.
City.
Yeah, I know where that is. Right.
Yeah, and then but my first school I went to, it was High Elementary. They call it the hood school. I was like, dang, it's really that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I,
But
I have a question
yeah,
for you
so
real quick from the
yeah.
comments. Someone asked, when they tested you, did you pass the test and make an example out of someone? That's just what I don't know what that means, but that's what the
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know what they mean. So
I hope you won.
I mean, honestly, like I always been a dude that's like very good at like de-escalating a lot of situations first, but
Yeah.
if it got to that situation, I mean, I only lost one fight growing up, but for the most part, like I definitely held my own pretty well. But yeah, like it wasn't like a all day every day type of thing, but yeah, it had its moments where it's like, yeah, it was no avoiding it. But honestly, probably like the worst part was probably just like it's just as soon as you walk in a room, here's a smart comment. I'm like, dude, I ain't even open my mouth. I'm like, and it's like you have to check so many people so often. At least that's what I noticed growing up, like as a kid. But I have to keep in mind, I grew up in a more um I started off more in the suburbs and then I came more into a lower income area. Yeah, like I'm not gonna say it was a hood, but like sort of ish. It's like in between. It's like it's not too dangerous, but it's like it's durable.
Right.
So yeah, it was different for me coming up, going through that.
Did you have both of your parents or did they get divorced?
Yeah. So I had both of my parents, but my parents did divorce when I was a teenager,
Okay.
and my mom passed away when I was 18 from colon cancer. Yeah,
Oh, I'm
so
sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, oh, it's good, man. Like I still got other people, I talk to and really been supporting me. So and then, I still rebuilt my relationship with my dad again. So, that's fantastic. But yeah, it was a journey. It was a journey for sure. Like really after the divorce, that really as just a kid, man, I ain't gonna lie, that just it's so much learning because I feel like that's like the most important stage of your life. It's like, yeah, you learn what's right and wrong from a kid, but to go from a man, like, to grow into that's where you really need that fatherly push from that
Yeah.
age. Yeah. So I'm gonna be real
Well,
with you.
when your mom died, did you feel cut off from her side of the family or her culture?
No, like we still stayed around, but it's so weird. It's like growing up, our family was pretty close, but over the years, everybody just kind of slowly faded away. They moved away, and this
Yeah, I mean
person
that
moved
tends to
over
happen
here.
as you get older, like the
Yeah,
cousins and stuff. They got their own lives and all. Yeah, I get that for sure.
yeah.
If y'all don't mind, I think we should read some comments.
Yeah, sure. It sounds great.
What some people are saying, and then we have some more guests that want to
Perfect.
come up. Okay, let's see. I'm not gonna read all of them because some of them are a little like all over the place. Okay. Let's see. One says both sides think you have an advantage with the other, but there's no advantage for a mixed person. So we talked about this a little bit where we think we do have a little bit of an upper hand because we are multidimensional. But I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys want to talk about maybe what you think about that and maybe the nuances behind what's a pro and what's a con of being mixed.
I would say personally, I have never felt an advantage being mixed because even when my appearance has allowed me to enter, let's say, white spaces, the first thing that I get asked is, "Where are you from?"
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that immediately puts you in a hostile space. So I've explained it, and actually, there was a really great comedian. I think her name was Ada Rodriguez. Do you know what I'm talking about? The Quaker Oats man joke.
I think so.
She's like, everyone wants to say, because she's like Puerto Rican, I think, and she's like very like light skinned and whatnot,
Yeah.
and mixed and light skinned because it's two different things. She was like, y'all are trying to criticize me for being mixed and light skinned, but I'd rather be in the field with y'all working than being in the house getting fucked by the
Essayed.
Quaker Oats man. You know, and I felt the same way. Like I went to a PWI college, and I was like, "This is not the benefit you think it is." Like,
Yeah.
yes, they let me in, but they let me in so they could torture me. Like, yeah, not y'all laughing.
Did you
about-
have a hard time in college?
Oh hell yeah! I had to drop out.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's
Oh, it was
horrible.
horrendous. It was horrendous. People constantly telling me I should be grateful that they even let me into the school, and my professor telling me she saw me in the future smoking weed, and I'm like, damn,
God.
girl, yeah. Like, I was like, I wanted to go to the University of Chicago. She's like, no, I see you in your future, like living in New York and smoking weed, and I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a
Okay.
straight A student. Like, not that you can't be that and smoke weed, but where did you get the notion that I smoke weed?
That's wild.
Yeah, and I don't. Like, that's the wilder part. So I'm like, I'm not high at any time or point. So yeah, it was horrible. I ended up, yeah, but
Um,
yeah, I just dropped out and went to a different school. I did graduate though. So, but
okay,
yes,
I'll just read. You want me
Go
to
ahead,
just read? I'll
Maritza.
just like go off and like read a couple more
Yeah.
quick ones, and then we have some people that are waiting. I see that mulatto priest. If you want to come back into the waiting room, I'm like about to let you up in like just a minute. Sorry about that. But we have a comment from Jetta Silence. She said the United States is so different. Blacks seem so angry towards biracial people. She said she's a biracial Canadian. And then let's see. Someone said, exactly. I just finished fighting in the comments with a black woman saying I don't belong in black spaces. That's something I feel like we can all relate.
Yeah, it's a love-hate
Yeah.
relationship, right? Because I mean, the second one of us becomes famous or rich, then all of a sudden we're black. Let me tell
Yeah,
you
I know,
that
right?
now.
Yeah.
But until then, they're going to torture us and make sure that we know that we're not black until then, right?
yeah,
And you know it's crazy because like I literally had this discussion with a family member a few days ago, and I was telling him, hey, like I'm feeling really comfortable and I'm so glad, I'm coming together with other light skins and other mixed race, Afro people, just mixed people in general. And but my family members, it was like, so you're practicing light skin supremacy. I'm like, no, like I just have like this is a more safe haven for me. Don't get me wrong. I'm still gonna look out for the black community, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I know it's places I go where I'm either gonna be it's gonna be nothing but love from the black community. Other
Mhm.
places I go, I'm an instant threat, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And I hit the gym too, so it's like, you know,
Yeah.
like it's different. You know, like if you're not in the gym, I feel like you can kind of maneuver a lot more easier through life. But once you get in the gym and you like start to really build yourself, like that's Lord have mercy. That's when you're really gonna go through it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to be a ballet dancer, believe it or not, and I was so skinny and gorgeous, of course, and young, and I had my full hairline, and everybody was just like constantly hating on me, and I was like, "What the hell? I don't get it. I'm cute, I'm nice." Like I used to look like Golden before the freaking pandemic. Well, it's been a while since I looked like Golden, but um, in all reality. But yeah, I was like, what the hell? Like, I thought I was following all the rules, you know? I'm in the gym, I'm wearing a size 28 jean, like, I'm wearing fit into medium shirts, you know? And I'm like, I don't get it. I feel like I'm following all the rules. Why are you still abusing me, you know? And the point was never, you were never going to earn their acceptance, trust, respect. Like, they just want to put you on a wheel and just have you go crazy.
I mean, that's why it's so important to really, protect your peace and be conscious of who you're surrounding yourself around.
Yes.
You got to figure out ways to sift through the type of people that you're dealing with, because otherwise they're going to drive you crazy. You can only
Right.
fight for so long.
Oh yeah.
And you can't assume that, like, what, I liked how you put it, Mulatto Running. You were like, what did you say? Like, black descended people or Afro descended people? Like,
Yeah.
you may think,
Yeah.
like, Afro descended people, right? Like
Yeah.
I grew up in, like I said, the DC area. I don't know if you know Prince George's County. It's like very famous black county. And I grew up there, and of course everybody was black, and like a handful of us were mixed and stuff like that. And so kind of like you all, I always figured I was like, oh yeah, the black community, it'll always be love, and you find out a little bit younger that maybe, oh, you hear the chuckle, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was a trap.
definitely a trap.
It's a trap.
I I will say, like there's two types of black people you're gonna run into. You're gonna run into the ones that, are really cool, down to earth, got your back.
Yeah,
And then you got the YNs out there. So yeah,
Uh,
you gotta maneuver a little differently. But and it's interesting too, because I will say I got a lot of respect for, because I used to work at a warehouse recently, and I got a lot of respect for like the reform prison people, who turn their lives around.
yeah,
Like I relate to them. Actually pretty cool. Like they're really cool. But but like I feel like with a lot of YNs out there, I think they have to really go through that process and then mature before they start to see the world differently. Yeah, because it's like it's sad, it's like you got all this information out there, and it's just with so much dysfunction and with the media pushes, it's sad to see, so much dysfunction going on in the black community. And if you're mixed and you come around, it's like it's going to be mixed signals at all times, leading to a lot of confusion growing up,
mhm.
because like I said before, I had no clue who I was till literally just a few years ago. And
Yeah.
yeah, like I was lost for a long time, not even gonna lie.
yeah. I do worry about some of these people who seem to like live in a silo, and they're not very cultural. They're not really multicultural, and so a lot of their viewpoints are kind of skewed. And I feel like that really affects us too.
Yeah. And then the black community, like they'll say, oh, well, you don't even have the loose curly hair. So, that's how we would know you're mixed. You got the hair like ours. So, yeah, so you're black. And for a
Well,
long
see, I get
time,
I get
I
the
believe
opposite.
that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get the
I
opposite.
don't.
They don't think I'm black because I don't have Afro textured hair, right?
Me
So
too.
Yeah.
they're
Or
like, well,
darker
you can't be
skin.
mixed. You can't be mixed because you don't have the hair.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well,
it's both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
it's
But then when they see
definitely
the traits and how I carry myself, and then even on top of that, when you look at me like featurely, I got freckles, my beard's kind of red, a little bit of reddish. so you can still see the mixture, like with everything. And then like it just leads to just so many different answers from like different people, and you're
Yeah.
just like, am I really black? And yeah,
Yeah.
you just don't know for a while, until I started to do research. And because even when it comes down to like the Latino community, that was like I was learning about that because growing up in Florida, we got a lot of Dominicans. Everybody thought, oh yeah, you
Oh
must be
yeah.
Dominican and this
That
and
was
that.
like that was really my haven in high school and
Yeah,
stuff was, with Puerto Ricans and Cubans and stuff like, 'cause, like I just blended
yeah,
right in and they just took care of me, man. It was great.
Mm.
yeah, and the only thing sucks for me is that I didn't speak Spanish, so that's what screwed me over. But yeah, I'm gonna still learn it eventually. But
Yeah.
yeah, I had literally know nothing about the Latin culture. I thought it was his own race, when really Latin culture is very mixed. Because
Yeah.
yeah, like even with the Cubans, Dominicans, they still classify as whites because you do have Europeans mixed, and then you have the African roots, and then you have people like me. If I go over to the Dominican Republic, I'll be considered mestizo. So it's just like you're not taught these things growing up in school about how you would be viewed. And even with the Puerto Ricans, very similar as well. They're mixed as well.
Yeah.
But you're just not told that, because growing up, people just be like, oh, Latinos, they're their own race. I'm just like, no, they're mixed. But like it's crazy how you just don't know these things until you get older and just start to look into it, talk to people, and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With Puerto Ricans, I mean, they're 20% African on average. And then with Dominicans, they are 40% African on average.
yeah.
There's very few on that island who have not been touched by African blood.
Mhm. Well, I was going to say in that regard. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Did you want to do a comment?
No, go
Well, I was
ahead.
going to say in that regard, even when we kind of sit in the Latin community, we're still doing ourselves a disservice because you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at? It's
Of
like we're
course.
Yeah,
still, you know,
I
trying to find a
mean,
community.
any way we look at
exactly.
it, we are guests in the Black community. We're
Yeah.
guests in the white community. We're guests in the Latino community.
Yep,
Yet we have to find our own. We have to combine and come up with our own community so that we can stand strong in each other.
exactly.
And
That's
I,
our
and
home.
and and like on my channel, I call us the golden race people,
Yeah.
because yeah, like because you got other mixes
Golden.
out there, like like Kamala Harris. I believe she's black and Indian,
Hmm.
so it's like you really
yeah.
can't call her mulatto anymore. So it's like, well,
Right.
what do you do with them? What do you do with the Blasians? And I
Yeah.
just said, well, we're all gonna have a similar experience being mixed with Afro features.
Yeah.
And the best summary I came up with, well, we're the golden race people, So yeah, that's the best I can come up with in terms of community.
I want to welcome
And can I?
Mulatto Saint.
What's going on?
How you doing, Saint?
Hey,
Hello.
what's going on, guys? Hey, yeah, I'm just listening to your conversation, and Mulatto Ronin. What you were saying was interesting. How you grew up, you know what I'm saying, like just being looked at as an outsider, especially by blacks. It was kind of the same thing up for me because I remember like when I was young, because I'm actually from the Michigan area, the the English language for the most part, really. And it really took me a long time to see why that was, of why I was looked at differently by blacks and whatnot. Like probably until I was like an adult. Like it took me until that point really. And it's not that I didn't know that I was mixed, but we don't talk much about mixed race identity, and I just thought of myself as, oh, I'm just a light skinned black person because I'm basically a multi gen too, but um, my basically my mother is like a quadroon, right?
Yeah.
And my dad was a black American, and sometimes when black Americans breed with quadroons, they can create mulattoes really. And so I didn't know for a long time that I could really call myself mulatto. Like I pretty much knew I was mixed, but I didn't. I just thought of myself as, oh, I'm just another black person because, oh, mixed race identity wasn't really discussed much. I actually feel like it would have been easier had I just had a white parent and a black parent, like the
Yeah.
average a mulatto person, because it would have given me a better perspective, really, on that sort of thing, and it wouldn't have taken me a long time to really figure out that I am mulatto. I am not a part of this race because I used to be heavily black identified, like
Yeah.
to the point at one point I was like pro black, but then I was not because I realized the black community was dysfunctional, and so I was just kind of one of the black people, one of the quote unquote black people that was telling black people, hey, y'all got to do better, blah blah blah. And after a while, it's just like, wait, why do I keep speaking for these people and I look nothing like them? Like, and that's what
Yeah.
I realized
Yeah.
about so many like mulattoes who they end up, who are in the black community who call out like certain things. Like even when they're like they mean well, you can tell they're still lost because it's like you're sitting up and you're trying to solve a group's problems that you look nothing like. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like that's really just a sad existence, unfortunately. But unfortunately, that's what a lot of us have essentially been left with because we don't have a physical community, and we essentially have to live under other people's communities, really.
Yeah, yeah, you're really yeah, you're really just community hopping a lot of your life at first. You
Yeah.
wasn't taught how to really maneuver. Because I'll be
Yeah,
the blacks 1 minute, yeah, 1 minute, the whites 1 minute, and Latinos 1 minute, and kind of just all over the place. Just
yeah,
going with whoever resonated me. From certain groups.
But
yeah,
there's
man. It's
still a.
it's
Mhm.
really just sad, and that's why I'm really glad that we're starting to form like this sort of online community, at least really, so that we, what I'm saying, can get the message out to other mulatto people that yes, there are people just like you who are in the same position and whatnot, and who have had a lot of these different experiences. Because for a lot of us, we have family members that can't even relate to our experiences. Really, our own
For
parents
real.
really can't.
Yeah. I think the internet is probably the best thing that's ever happened to us as a people
Yeah,
because
life
we're all
saving.
so spread
Right?
out, and now we get to talk to each other and compare notes and experiences and support each other and whatnot. That's good.
And what's crazy? For me at least, I can't speak for you guys, but in the black community, growing up in Florida, it was so rare if I ever seen like a light skinned couple, and even growing up now, just thinking back to it, it's like, wait, why are we not pushed to be with one another? You know,
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, like I just sat back and I just like, man. But I do have to keep in mind with the black community, it's like with darker skin, like it's so sad and unfortunate, but a lot of them tend to not really like their skin, and I think it is due to the media because like a lot of times, I hate to say it, but they're shown in bad light when in the reality there's a lot of good in the black community that the world doesn't see.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, like if that was shown more, And this is why I think us mixed Afro people, us golden race people, can be very powerful. We can show off the good in the black community and change the dynamics and still keep control of our community as well, and change the different
Right.
narratives. Like I feel like both of us can be very stronger. And even the white community as well, because like there's a lot of narratives with the white community, like, oh yeah, they're just always privileged. They got everything handed to them. And like that's how a lot of other minorities tend to see that.
Very
But
true. Yeah.
but when you get around certain ones, because I've met white people who going through it just like me, I'm like, dang man, you've been through that too. I'm like, and and that's just things that are just not talked about. And I think for that reason, that's why we're really a very powerful group of people.
Yeah, because we
Can I?
have the. Oh, sorry.
No, I just wanted to read a comment to see what you guys think about this comment, but
Yeah.
I can always wait.
No, please go ahead.
Okay, the comment is, I wish we had a mixed people dating site. I'm 100% black,
Yes.
but prefer mixed race mate. So what do you guys think about that comment?
I
That would
thought
be
that there was
awesome.
somebody in our network.
Yeah.
Wait, but
TikTok that was
wait,
actually
I want you
looking at
guys to understand this person he's monoracial black, but
Uh-huh.
prefers mixed race people, so would like
Oh.
the dating app
Oh, no.
so that they can go find mixed race people to date. And
Well, if
I'm obviously
well,
I'm obviously a girly, and I would hate that. I would hate that someone is looking, and I wouldn't hate for other mulattoes, for example, to have a dating app like a mulatto dating app, so you can go find other mulattoes, because then you kind of take away race at that point.
Yeah.
But when you're just looking for mixed women or just looking for mixed men, we're kind of pushing the line a little bit.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a problem with
Yeah.
fetishization, like the fetish.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
fetishization
because
got to
it's,
stop.
it's just like a fetish sort of thing. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm attracted to like women of other races and whatnot, but I don't see that as like a fetish. Like I just want to scream. Like no, I actually am just naturally attracted to that sort of thing, and I could see myself having a relationship with somebody outside of my race. I don't just see skin and that's it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing with like the whole fetish side. And I really hate to say it, but that's the thing with like black dudes. Like that's one reason why I feel like black dudes really heavily push the one drop thing. It's because they want access to a lot of women. A lot
Yeah.
of times, really.
What I think is really sad is that the phenotype of a black woman has been pushed so far into whiteness that these sisters don't get any love anymore.
Yeah.
The
That's
true
very true.
black
Yeah.
the true black girls are not getting looked at.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
It's washing our representation, it's washing their representation, like it's
Yep.
just it's all around a lose-lose, just L's everywhere.
Like
That's
we
not healthy.
deserve Zendaya. Like they don't need Zendaya. We deserve Zendaya.
Yeah.
And they deserve their space, we deserve ours. Like
Yeah.
it's actually beneficial for both groups to have accurate representation of their women and of their men and of whoever, they're they thems, they're non-binary, whatever, like I think that's important for every young girl, young boy, whatever, to see their representation and for it to be accurate.
I mean, it's really kind of sad though, because if you think about like the Billboard Hot 100 right now, you could probably count, I don't know, maybe less than 10 monoracially black women on all of the charts. And that's
Right.
sad,
And
'cause
if you look up,
they have no representation
if you
because
look
we're
up,
replacing
like-
their representation.
and if you look up like the most attractive black women period in the media, dude, like at least like maybe maybe like 7 out of like 10 of them, they're all mixed race women.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
almost all of them, even going back to the 70s. Like if you think about like Pam Grier, like she was mixed with like Chinese and whatnot, but she's considered one of the most beautiful black women in media, I believe.
Yeah, but it's important for these little black girls to grow up with having representation, people that look like them, and not that completely different phenotype, completely different bone structure and hair, and then look in the mirror and see themselves and try to compare.
And that's
It
something.
just doesn't work.
And that's something that black people should be demanding, really, but they don't. But for a lot of them, they don't want to do it, or if they do want to do it, they kind of end up in a way like shitting on like mixed race people. Really, like they'll say
Yeah.
that we're privileged because we're shown as black or whatever. That's usually what they'll say. That's the whole issue. Is they end up crapping on mixed race people when they do that instead of just saying, "Hey, look, if you're gonna show black images and actually show monoracial black people."
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Is there any more comments, Maritza? You there? Well,
I'm right here.
Uh,
I'm
are
right
there
here. Sorry, I'm
any more
moving.
comments? Okay, sorry.
I don't really see any that are productive.
Does
Yeah,
anybody
none
else
are.
want to come up on the
Yeah,
panel?
please come up. There was a comment asking if you had to pay. I mean, you could Venmo me. No, I'm just kidding. But you don't have to. Come right
Me
up.
too.
We're gonna have a chat.
Actually, yes. Pay for our biracial tears.
Please, at least, yeah, like maybe $20 or something. I don't know, but
Oh my god,
there's
I
no
love it.
comments really that are
Deserve
great.
it.
But a lot of people are very happy. Oh, I just got a comment. What does mulatto mean? If you guys want to go into that.
So mulatto was
Oh,
the
I
original
can.
classification. It started in the 8th century in Iberia, right? Spain and Portugal. And it was no, actually, it started in the 15th century.
It came from
Before the 15th
Wallet,
century, it was
basically.
before the 15th century, it was mualad, right? And then they changed it to mulatto when they incorporated Latin into the Spanish language in the 15th century. So here in America, we use it as a racial classification. Actually, during slavery, before the Civil War, there were a lot of mulattoes making a lot of money. And as entrepreneurs, we had our own communities, our own customs, all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? And so, we've kind of reclaimed the word. Some people think it's a derogatory word, which means mule, but I'm of the school that disagrees with that due to academia. But we've reclaimed the word and we use it, to describe ourselves holistically, because biracial and mixed race, all those words are, they're kind of obfuscating
They're
the
very
obvious.
vague.
Yeah. They're very vague, right? But mulatto means one thing. It means us, black and white, essentially.
And it is a
Yes.
race.
Yes, I would say that if you're European and sub-Saharan admixture, if there's less than a 40% gap between your European and sub-Saharan admixture, then you're mulatto. That would be my standard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait, can you explain that again? Because I missed the math.
Well, I said if there is less than a 40% gap between your European and your sub-Saharan African admixture, then you are mulatto.
Oh, okay. So, like, if you were even if you were 60% black, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
like
gotcha.
yeah, so yeah, it's usually like 50-50, 60-40 for example. I mean somebody that's like 70-30, that's usually griff, but anything that's like less than a 40% gap, then that's mulatto. If it's like
Yeah, that's
a
fair.
less than a 40% gap between.
So I was
Very
going to
true.
ask because this is always complicated for me. So my dad, he is, quote unquote black. His parents are both quote unquote black. His dad is more so mixed, and his mom is black. And then when I took my DNA test, I was not super shocked, but a little shocked and a little disappointed to find that I was only 33 or so percent black.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought, what about how do y'all feel about the whole quadroon, octoroon, all that type of stuff?
No, you're a mulatto if you're 33% black. You're still mulatto.
That's what
I
I
agree.
feel,
I
Yeah.
but
agree.
I was like unsure.
That's a
Now,
crazy
if
mix,
you were
though, how that
saying that you were
happens.
now if you were saying that you were like 25% black or something like that, then you would be like quadroon. But 33%, no, you're a mulatto.
Okay, and
I want to
I
say
always,
that Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I always felt that way about myself too. So
Yeah, I was going to say that, you guys, we use, I know a lot of these terms are kind of antiquated, but, these are part of the vocabulary that defines our existence. It's part of that whole thing. So we do use these words, to be honest.
and they
And I
are.
gotta, my bad.
Well, I was gonna
Yeah,
say they are used abroad, and they're not harmful. But in America, people decided they were harmful. But abroad, they're not really considered harmful. Just like the word "colored" is not considered harmful in South Africa.
Yeah.
So I always find that to be. It's usually like monoracial people, but some biracial people too, who are maybe not quite as informed or whatever. They'll be like, "No, you can't say that. It's a slur." And I'm like, you
Yeah,
know,
I don't know who the people are that are voting for this. They get to decide what are we can and cannot use to
right?
describe ourselves, because we obviously didn't get a say. I don't think it's fair. But
Right.
it's a free country, so they can shut up.
And it's
Yeah,
And it's very odd too, because if you look up like what a mulatto did under the Spanish caste system, it was mostly just like administrative stuff. Like it was mostly like just like middle income stuff, like tradesmen, soldiers, and sometimes they were actually slave catchers in these colonial colonies of Spain and Portugal. But if you look up what black meant un, under the Spanish caste system, if you were black under that same caste system, that was the worst thing that you could ever be. Like you were literal property if you were black. Like being
yeah,
black, like calling yourself black, like the word black is associated with things like sin, disease, and death, but black people had no problem reclaiming that. But if we say that, hey, we're mulatto, they tend to have an issue with that, and they try to say, "Oh, well, it means mule." Well, I mean, I would rather be called mule than associated with sin, disease, and death. But hey, you do you, man.
hey,
I have always used the term African American. It's just because I don't have black skin, right? So I usually just say I'm African American and German, right? But I think putting everybody under the black umbrella, like we all have black skin, is just not conducive to a really a good identity. It just doesn't work
yeah,
for everybody to be under that umbrella.
Right,
Never
yeah.
really
right.
made
That's
sense
I
to me.
mean, or you could say that you're just like Afro European if you want, or whatever. Just say that you're Afro
yeah.
European or you're Afro American. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I gotta ask, with this awakening of a lot of us mixed Afro people out here, do you guys think a lot of us, like, you're probably gonna see a lot more of us getting married at the highest rate compared to a lot of other people, because now we're starting to understand, oh wow, like the stereotypes and everything we thought we used to know about one another is coming to an end. You guys think we're gonna start to see stronger bonds and families with like between us?
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Yeah, I mean that'll take time, but yeah, I do predict that happening if we just keep on, putting out content like this and providing spaces like this. Really,
I
Yeah.
do want to read a comment and I want to talk about this a little bit. There's a comment from this lady named Golden. She said,
I
if
got
you
a fan
look,
club.
yeah, literally, if you look mixed, you're in. I don't think a black or white passing grift or octoroon is the same as me. So for the first part, what does being mixed look like? Because
and
I mean,
she
I
said,
mean, I mean,
and she
honestly,
said,
I would say someone like me is someone who might look like what you would say an octoroon would look like, but I'm not.
Oh,
So I'm
an
so
octoroon?
so
No, you.
how I
oh,
don't know if we
oh,
could really get into the
can I
what does
can I jump
being
in
mixed
real quick?
look like, because we all look very different. So what is?
I mean, I would
what's
say we
mixed
all look
belly?
different, but we all do look related still too, which is kind of crazy. Like
Yeah.
even if you go on Suburban Mulattoes
I
and look at
I
the
don't
main
want to buy
page,
into that though. That we all look related. It's just because like we're minorities here. That's the whole thing. Because you got to, I mean, you got to remember, dude. Like we all have phenotypic and genetic diversity. So I don't want to buy into that model narrative that we all look related, because that's just buying into what they say of why mixed people shouldn't have kids together or they shouldn't get married. Like I don't want to buy into that, because I just think that's like a lie. I mean,
I
and
feel
it's
you on
like,
that
how
point. I
far do
got
you want
you.
to take that too? Like, how far do you want to really take that? If you want to say, oh, because you're the same race, you all look related. Because
Maybe I picked the
So
wrong word for that, right?
so really this is something I actually thought a lot about. I actually did a video on this a while back. And I was saying, how us golden race people can gatekeep our image because for this reason, because a lot of people are gonna be like, well, what's really technically mixed? And I said, well, look at ourselves and let's go to the black community and let's see, okay, where in terms of getting trauma and getting the slander, okay, where did that cut off? Where it's like you walk in, okay, yeah, we see you as black, yeah, like anywhere you go, yeah, you're black, but yeah, that's where I would say there is a cutoff. So because like once I would say when you hit more darker brown skin, I would say that was like the cutoff, in
See,
my
for me,
opinion.
it's about parentage, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah.
what you look like, if you've got a white mother or a white father, and you got a white grandmother or a white grandfather, that's part of being mixed because they're handing down culture to you, right? So once you get
Yeah.
to someone that's like a great grandparent that you're born and they're already long gone and dead, then there's not that connection anymore. Does that make
Oh, okay,
sense?
yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why we subscribe to really like we that like, obviously like race, we subscribe that it can't just be phenotype. It can't just and our kind of justification for that is because like in my mind I'm like, okay, well, anyone can go get plastic surgery to phenotypically present as any race then, and then you can get melanin injections in your skin and be black with no parentage, no heritage, no black ancestry at all, but they're
right,
black.
That
They have black ancestry, but I don't. That's crazy, right? So I think it's important
right,
that we can look at phenotype and how we look, of course, absolutely. But we also have to look at parentage too, because I may not look a certain way, but that doesn't mean that I'm not of it or it isn't in my culture. It's not a part of me because then really anybody can be mulatto, anybody can be mixed if we just
yeah.
look mixed, right? So that's kind of why
right,
Logan and I subscribe to it's about your parentage and your ancestry as well. It can't just be phenotype. It's
Yeah.
a part of it, but
right.
not all of it.
Because phenotype doesn't really tell you everything, really, because you have some mulattoes who are actually darker than like grips, who are basically admixture black people, and you got some mulattoes that might be lighter than what you would say a quadroon, really, or as light as a quadroon for the most part. But for the most part, mulattoes, I would say usually just like we just look like what we are. The ones who I would say are like passing are usually the grips or the quadroons, and then with like uh, the octoroons usually are just white people. Like they don't really.
Right.
I can't imagine that they look like anything other than white people. I don't even like with octoroons. I don't even call them that. They're just white people to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, can I
essentially,
disagree
that's
on
about
that
12%.
point? Can I disagree with that? There's a very, very important figure in history who I always bring up to people when they want to claim that like an octoroon cannot be considered like POC. So you guys definitely must know Plessy versus Ferguson, and I'm a teacher, so I'm going to quiz you. So
Of
class, what
course,
did Plessy versus Ferguson establish in the United States? Does anybody
separate but
know?
equal.
Separate but equal. So
Right.
who was Plessy?
He was an octoroon.
But
Yeah, that's very
he
true.
was an octoroon. He wasn't
That's a
actually.
good
He went
point.
onto the white side of the streetcar, and they said you cannot sit here. And why was that? His blood, not his looks.
Right.
Well, yeah, because the one drop rule applied to anybody who had black DNA. Really, it applied to
Yeah.
anybody that had black DNA, even white people that had black DNA. Really, but I mean, octoroons usually they're only like 15% black. So
It's about
if we
12%, 12.5.
yeah, that's even right. Like the average Black American is about that much white, though. That's the thing, really. Like the average Black American is like what, like 10% or maybe even less white. So, I mean, if we start saying that octoroons are not white, then we have to say that Black Americans are not black, essentially, really.
Well, I
Oh,
think
I see
there's
what
a
you're
good
saying.
argument that Black Americans are not fully black. I think that's an appropriate
Well,
argument.
no, like they're not. I mean, most people aren't really like fully everything, but I think it comes down to what are you overwhelmingly really. If you're overwhelmingly something, that I would say that does for the most part make you that very thing. Now, obviously, most people are not going to be 100%, and some people might use that to say, oh well, we're all mixed, and I don't
Right.
even think that tells the story either, because I mean, having two different parents that look nothing alike is different from having slight admixture. Like, you can say we're all admixture to some point, but no, we're not all mixed race really.
No.
But even when
Yeah.
you're admixtured, you can still be a mono though. Like when you're admixtured, you're basically still a mono. Being mixed race is a completely different thing. That's what makes us different. Like Griffs, Quadroons, and Octoroons, and all those people, they're basically still monos. They're just admixtured, really.
Right.
We got a
Can I
comment
say
here.
something? Yeah, go ahead, Golden.
I was going to say a comment here from Jacqueline Brown. She says, "Are these terms not offensive? I've never heard them, but they seem like crazy words to say." And I'm just going to say, like,
Crazy words.
this is part of the lexicon that defines our existence, right? We were people that were created, and it's just something that we've gotten used to in discussing our heritage.
Right. And so there's another comment saying, I looked them up and it said some of them were considered derogatory. So
Yeah, we didn't vote on that.
yeah, like,
I mean, I don't know. Like, there's so many different terms that are considered derogatory. It's kind of very subjective for the most part on what is derogatory and what isn't. Like,
they were like racial classifications. So I guess if you want to determine that
I
those
mean,
racial classifications were offensive in themselves, like that's a different story. But they were racial classifications. I mean, they were used to separate and
yes,
segregate, of course.
these were things that were on the census.
But they weren't used
For hundreds of
pejoratively.
years. And for hundreds of years, these
Right.
terms existed.
But these are all colloquial terms that we use in the mixed community to describe each other,
Yeah.
so that we
Absolutely.
know what's who's who. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And lots of people use those terms too. Even some African Americans will use them as well. You'll hear it sometimes.
Let me see if there's another question here. Jetta Silence says we should have like weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly meetings. Actually, we're going to do this weekly, every Sunday night at 8. We're doing it on Saturday right now because the Super Bowl's tomorrow. But every week we're going to do we're doing biracial voices every week on Sundays at 8.
8
So it'll
p.m.
be me
That
and
sounds
Maritza
good.
here. Yeah, for
I
sure.
won't be here.
Yeah, that sounds
next
good.
week, but I don't know if Golden is going to do it next week, but I won't be here. I will be in New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
Oh, that's a
but
good point. Yeah, we'll talk to the producer.
I
About
don't know
that.
if Golden will do it by himself, but I will be partying it up.
Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun.
You're gonna be in Mulatto City. That's Mulatto
Yes.
City.
Oh my god.
New Orleans, Mulatto
Yeah, they got
City.
the Creole,
That's our
everybody over there.
I
origin
love New
point.
Orleans.
I have not been there yet. I
I
have
went
Oh, I've
to
I
got
have
it.
not
college.
been there yet.
It's
I
the best.
fixed
I
the
went to
mulatto
college in
woman's
New
house.
Orleans. For my first 3 years, I went to college in New Orleans, and it
Oh.
actually really transformed my identity a lot. And I know that this sounds a little crazy, but I grew up in northern Minnesota, where I'm sorry, this might come as shock, but I was one of the darkest people in the room. There's a lot of white people up north, and
Yeah.
so I had a I didn't have a hard time growing up being mixed. I actually I felt pretty good because I went to international schools. But when I went to
We get praise
college,
for our tans though. I mean the
yeah,
tans, I love that.
but when I went to
Yeah.
college in New Orleans, I just like felt. I mean, I had more issues where I felt like not being black enough. I know that that's like a trope that people don't like, but that's when I had those issues. But I love New Orleans. I felt really good about being in even in Baton Rouge. I love Louisiana. So
Yeah. Well, next week I might have a co-host, a guest co-host. If we would, if we could still do it while you're in New Orleans, then. Yeah. Is
Yes,
there
sir.
anybody else that wants to come up and share? Remember the topic is we are mixed, but we are not confused.
No, we are not.
Does anyone want to? Does anyone
No,
want to come
we are
share?
not.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's such a fight. How do you tell a person they're confused about who they are?
It's crazy, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
The system is confused about who we are, but not us.
Yeah.
Yeah. This society is, man.
I do
And
see a question though. If we
Okay,
wanna-
I missed one. Go ahead.
one. It says, "Is it wrong for a mixed person to not personally celebrate Black History Month if they don't feel included in how it's often framed?"
I don't think so.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think Black history needs a full reclassification because there is a lot of mulattoes in there.
Yes.
yes, Black History Month, a large portion of it is really just mixed race history month because do you guys want to know what I even like found out recently? Recently I actually found out, and I'm not joking, they say Nat Turner was described as being a mulatto.
Yep. And his pictures, you can tell. His paintings, you can tell.
Yeah, I mean, he was some
Very
sort of
nice.
light skin guy, but yeah, like bottom line, he was not a dark skinned black man like how they depicted him. The guy that wrote 12 Years a Slave, Solomon Northup, that guy was also mulatto. I mean, a lot of these stories that you're seeing that are presented as, black stories for Black History Month, they're really mulatto stories, but they've been stolen from us and then given to black people, really.
Mhm.
Yeah. What really chaps my hide though is that, especially during this time of year in Black History Month, they share stories on, TikTok or YouTube or whatever. What really chaps my hide is when they completely replace the phenotype of the mulatto and make it completely 100% total Black American. And that really gets under my skin.
Oh, I remember you showed that before too, because I'm actually on TikTok, and I'm familiar with your content and everything, and I remember you actually showed that, and I'm like, oh my god! And some of those people look like they could be like quadroons too.
Yeah, it's just sad how they want to just erase us from history and our contributions.
Dude, like the very first black governor, quote unquote black governor, was a mulatto too.
Yeah.
Thurgood Marshall, the first Black Supreme Court justice. That's a mulatto man.
Yep.
Hey guys, welcome Hazel to the panel. Hey Hazel.
What's going on?
I love your
Greetings to
hair.
everybody.
Hello.
Nice to meet
Hi to everyone on the panel, and hello to everyone in the chat. I just discovered this channel recently, woke up, couldn't sleep, saw you all were live. And
Yeah,
I
it's pretty
wanted
late
to
over there in the
respond.
UK right now, right?
Yeah, it is. 2:36 in the morning. But check it out, yeah? So I am what you all would consider biracial, mixed race. And my genetic makeup is, and I know a lot of Americans would not consider my mother black, but we consider her black. She's a black Caribbean woman, an African descendant right? Dark-skinned black woman, and my father is a white man, right? And I was raised around, because I don't know how much you all know about London. I know you think it's all like tea and crumpets and all that lot, but we got hoods. Yeah, we got hoods.
Oh yeah, y'all
We
got the
got hoods
Navitat.
and yeah,
Oh
we got a lot
yeah,
of.
yeah. I've
South
heard.
London. Ooh, South London.
It's illegal guns here too. Like, don't get it twisted and misconstrued. And we got guns and all kind of trap houses and stuff over here. But that's another subject for another day. My thing is this, right? I do think that some biracial people are confused. But do you know what I also think? I think that it's other people that are confused that want to put their confusion on me. Because
Yeah.
I've had I was raised, right? Okay, so I'm going to say some things that some people may find offensive. Um, Bearing in mind I'm from a big city and I'm used to seeing a lot of different cultures. There's Africans here, there's Caribbeans, there's Americans, there's Canadians, there's Indians, there's Chinese people. There's all kinds of people in London. Any kind of food you need, you can find it. There's Irish, Italian, whatever you got going on. Kind of like New York, just
Yeah.
not as many buildings. Anyway, so I I didn't realize that I was quote unquote mixed until I was about 8 or 9. My mum and my dad just told me you're black, right? And then when I got older, people would say to me, "Oh, what are you? You're not black or white, you're both," and whoop whoop whoop, and all this and that and the third. And I'm just like, okay, well, I don't argue with people about what they think I am. I feel like everybody's mixed. Honestly, at this point, everybody's mixed. There's not many black people in America that if you took a genetic swab of their mouth and checked their DNA, they would have some European DNA in there,
Yeah.
My mother does, and my mother is very dark. She's like the same complexion as Wesley Snipes. A lot of my Caribbean family are very dark chocolate. I'm one of the only light ones because obviously my dad. And there wasn't any of this stuff like this mixed and you're this and you're that. It was just, oh, we're just black. And then when we talk to Americans, they say, "Oh no, you're not black because you're from the Caribbean, and Africans are not black, and Caribbeans are not black, but we're black." And it's
Yep.
like, yeah. So
FBAs.
Yeah, that's a fairly new concept, by the way. They just started doing that, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
yeah. But check
Yeah,
this
that's
out though.
just yeah.
I know a white girl who's confused because she was adopted. Her two parents are white. Her adopted parents are white. She's more confused than me about herself and her identity and who she is and all that kind of thing. And that's no shade to her. That's not her fault. But she's going through therapy and stuff. Whereas when people say to me, "What are you?" "Okay, I'm mixed." "Aren't you confused?" "No, what's confusing about that?" Two
Right.
people had a baby. Why is
It's
that
pretty
confusing
simple.
to you? If I presented you with a bowl of ice cream and you looked at it and you saw that there was 2 scoops of ice cream in the bowl and 1 scoop was pink and 1 scoop was brown, and you said, "Is that 1 scoop of strawberry and 1 scoop of chocolate?" And I said, "Yeah, that will be it. You'd have a bowl of ice cream and some of it is strawberry and some of it is chocolate, and that's it." What's confusing about that? "Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
it's not chocolate and strawberry. It's which one is it? It's both, right? It's chocolate and strawberry."
Yeah,
Right.
see, and that's where the whole difference comes too, because you're from the UK, and from what I've heard over there, they acknowledge mixed race identity much more than the United States, where the whole one drop stigma was a thing where, if you had any black in you, you were black pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
that's just
Yeah.
how it's been for so long.
We do. Yeah. But there is that whole thing of like, because I was raised by a black woman and my mother took me to the islands, I went to school over there. I'm very steadfast. Like I've had so many people trying to argue with me, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're not mixed, you're black. You're not black." I'll be like, "You know what? I'm whatever you want to tell me I am. Like, if you want to tell me I'm a miniature giraffe with an extra head hanging out my backside, it is what it is. I'm not arguing with you. I don't care. I don't care what you think I am. I think I know what I am, and that's it." So
It's so
I'm
weird
mixed.
how the conversation shifts just so that they can have a feeling of comfort of how they identify you rather than how you identify yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right. They wanna try to like tell you like what you want. Like basically, like 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 basically like they pretend like they raised you and they know what you are and you don't. Like it's so weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I don't have to identify with one or the other. That's stupid. It's ridiculous. You
Yeah.
know, I'm both, and I'm not
Yeah.
ashamed of either. And the thing is, neither of us choose what we're born into anyway. So it's not even like a thing of like, oh, I'm proud of this or I'm ashamed of that. I'm just me, and it is what it is. And I don't even know why it's such a big topic of discussion. And usually, when I have somebody that's all kind of like, confrontational, it's usually females and oh, you must think you're too nice. And okay, if that's what you think, I think. Well, do you want me to think I'm shit? Or do you want me to think I'm, oh, sorry for the language. I don't know if you allow cursing on your
No,
channel, so
you're
I
fine.
apologize. I'm
You're
trying not
fine.
to.
Mhm.
Yeah, do you want me to feel downtrodden and like miserable and unhappy? Or what do you want me to do?
They
Is it
do.
a
They do.
bad thing if I think I'm too nice?
Yeah, I mean, I really do think that they want you to diminish yourself in their presence. Unfortunately,
Well, Golden, what do you always say?
Yeah.
What's like your quote? You have like we should
my
put this on a
quote
t-shirt.
is, yep,
We need
is
to make merch.
they want you to want to be black so they can tell you that you're not.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, that's the other one
Yeah,
as
it's a
well.
Yep.
strong.
It's
I
a
get
power
that a
Yeah.
trip.
lot.
It's a power
Yeah,
trip.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Just
they do say that.
yeah.
They
Just
say,
look
oh,
what
you want to be
happened to
black, don't
Drake.
you?
Hold
You
on.
know
Let me
what
get
though?
my
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of mood I'm in, sometimes I say, but I am black. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're mixed. Okay, so you're mixed too then, because some of your ancestors are white too. So what's the business?
So if you say, hey, I'm black, they're gonna be like, oh, you're not black. Da, da, da. Da. If you say I'm mixed, they're gonna be like, oh, you don't want to be black. It's like
Yes.
it's
Exactly.
this conundrum. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Right, but the thing is this though, like the only sort of like mixed people that they usually accept saying that they're black are really the mixed people that imitate that sort of urban hood sort of culture. Really, those are the only
Yeah.
mixed people who they're not gonna really question their blackness. And I've seen mixed people just like that. That's like
Yep.
and when I was black identified. I could not stand them. Just with the ones who literally they would just try to overcompensate and just prove
Yeah.
how black they are.
I think it's kind
Yeah.
of sad though that you have to
Yeah.
what's the word over blacken up yourself to
Compensate,
be
yeah.
accepted. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
overperforming
I went through
blackness,
that too growing up.
which are mostly
Yeah.
harmful stereotypes. To be honest, there are harmful stereotypes in that you're overperforming and trying to seek favor when you have to be happy in who you are.
Right.
Because they're
I
going to spend
agree.
their whole life doing that.
Yes, their whole life. And you have mulattoes who I actually know of who have literally ruined their whole life trying to overperform blackness, have caught felonies, ended up in jail,
Hmm.
all that sort of stuff. Like just destroyed their entire lives doing that.
Yeah.
Can I tell y'all something? Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Years and years ago, I started off on a journey to try to find the like objective studies about all biracial people. And what I found will shock you. We have higher rates of suicide. We have the second highest suicide rate after white men. We have higher rates of going to jail than any race. We have higher rates of
Really?
not being married.
I didn't know
Yes,
that. Wow.
based
I
off
don't
of
think we
rate,
have higher
not
rates of
number.
going to jail out of any race. I've never heard out of any race of going to jail. I've never heard that.
So the key there is the rate, not the number, but the percentage. So the percent compared to the total
It's because we have
is
smaller
higher.
numbers.
Yeah.
We have
We have
smaller
smaller
numbers,
numbers,
but
so
a bigger
yeah.
majority of us are imprisoned.
Yes, compared to so like if 1,000 mixed people versus 1,000 black people are in jail, it looks worse for the mixed people because there's fewer of us.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, and
Yeah.
we have lower rates of being married, lower rates of college education, higher rates of drug use. And I'm gonna send the study, or maybe can I put the study in this private chat and everyone can see it?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
Study.
You can put it in the private chat, and then I can put it in the comments
Okay.
I
for
mean, the
for everybody
suicide.
else.
I mean, the suicide rate doesn't too much surprise me because there's so
Yeah.
many of us who just.
It's very
Some of us
isolating.
we grow up in. Yeah, it's very isolating, and then some of us. You got to remember the average mixed race person in America, typically grows up in a single parent household, and well,
Yes.
those households usually don't have the best outcomes, really.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, I
The
was
thing,
so shocked.
the thing is
Sorry, go
with
ahead.
studies and statistics is they can always be manipulated. I'm not saying that that study is not um, a good source of information. I'm just saying I've seen so many times, and yeah, like for example, if I go and ask 100, if I ask 100 gay men who they find more attractive out of two females. And one female is extremely feminine and curvy, and the other one sort of looks closer to male. They may just instinctively choose the one that looks closer to male. And I could purposely go out of my, or I could ask 100 racist white supremacist men who's more attractive, Beyonce or Miley Cyrus. They're all going to say Miley Cyrus. I can manipulate that. That's just an example, though. So I do find studies and I can't just look at the study. I've got to look at who did the study and how they conducted the study and what kind of. I'll be going overboard, but it is. I would like to see that though. I'm interested in that. If the link.
Yeah.
Okay, I see the link in the back chat.
Yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I
check the
do
link.
know that. I do know that mixed race people, and I kid you not, like this is very true. Mixed race people, and this is both males and females, they have higher rates of being victims of sexual assault. Really,
Mm.
Oh yeah, you're very
That's so
overly
believable.
sexualized, yeah.
yes, and me personally, as like a guy, I mean, I don't know, like maybe some people might not care because I'm like a guy, but I've had female stalkers. Literally,
Oh
it's the
yes, it's
craziest
very.
thing.
It's so weird with
We got to
me.
be
I've had
careful out there.
stalkers.
We have to be careful out there. To be
Yes,
honest.
we do.
Mm.
Yes, we do. Especially if you're like ambiguous looking, they really like that. Like both men and women, they really like
Yeah.
that ambiguous look.
The man is off the
Yeah.
chain with it, man. Like, I mean, they don't hide it whatsoever. It's like you be walking and they'll just be rubbing their hands and up here smirking, like smiling. I'm like, and then
Yeah.
one, I'm like, oh, come on now. I mean, listen,
Do
nothing
they?
against that community, but it's like,
Do you all have
Right.
people ask what you are, or do you all have people assume what you are? Because I have like every
Oh yeah.
country I go to. So when I'm in New York, they assume I'm Puerto Rican. When I'm in North Africa, they assume I'm Moroccan. When I'm in like England, they know I'm mixed. When I'm in the islands, like that, everywhere I go, they assume, oh, where are you from? What are you? What are you? What are you? And it's like, I'm an
Oh
alien.
yeah. Like oh yeah. Like every day, like here, like they mistake me for. I mean, because I live in Michigan, where that has like the highest Middle Eastern population, and because
Mhm.
like my mix is Italian, right? So it's more Mediterranean. So I have kind of a more Mediterranean look to me. They
Yeah.
think that I'm like Middle Eastern, like literally. They think that I'm Middle Eastern.
Mm.
Me too. That's what I get,
I-
but I definitely get it because I'm Cypriot, so it's like basically the Middle East. Like it's not
Oh,
Yes,
we're
Eurasia,
both
they're half
Mediterranean
right.
people.
but
They're
they
half
are,
right.
but they're ethnically Greek, so they're European. But
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
both Southern Europeans.
for
But
me,
the
I've
what are you
been,
thing is definitely a commonality for sure. The what are you?
yeah,
Yep, definitely. Yep, what are you? Yep, that's a very, very common thing. And see, that's something like when they say that we're black people, like no, like the average black person doesn't really get asked, "What are you?"
yeah.
Mm.
Right.
And hey, but the funniest part is like when people see you, and it's like, and then once you start speaking, they're just like, "Whoa!" Like that's the funniest part because like they don't expect you to talk a certain type of way.
Mm.
Right.
That's
They don't
true.
even think that I speak English. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, And
I was
then
gonna
Hispanics be
say,
the funniest because like when you don't know Spanish, they just get so upset.
I'll be
that,
telling
yes.
people, I'll be telling people I don't speak English in my English accent. I'll say, I'm sorry, I don't speak English. I don't understand what you're saying.
Uh,
I just walk off.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
That's funny.
You gotta just laugh about it at the end of the day, man. You know,
Yes, you
if you
can.
let it
And
upset you, you'll be getting upset every other day, every time someone says something. Sometimes I'll be
Yeah.
trolling
honestly,
people on purpose too. I'll be like, no, I'm white, can't you tell?
but you know what? You know, sometimes when you don't like want to talk to people, it's very good that they assume that you don't speak English because then, you know, what I mean, they just might assume, oh, you're just one of the foreigners, so you're not somebody I can have a conversation with. And I'm just thinking, yeah, go away.
Yeah.
Well, are there any other comments in the chat that we can answer question to?
I don't really see any great ones. Just
I added some articles if y'all are interested in reading. They're in there.
Sure.
Did you put them in the chat?
I put them in the private
Okay.
chat. I can't access the
I
other
see one. It says, especially Gen Z biracials. Unfortunately, Charles Drew never tried to act confused. He knew he was black. Lena Horne, etc. Today's mixed people at times don't want to be on code with being black. Another one says, I get my groceries delivered now because I had an incident with a lady, obviously with her man at Target. She was looking at me like a thirsty dog.
Oh my god.
I would say
yeah.
the whole subject thing about being on code, being black, that's just not my experience, right? So
Being
Oh
on
man, be
code.
thankful, be glad.
that's just not my experience, you know. So I am what I am. I take what I can from both of my cultures, and I just live my life, man. But I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
like
cape. I'm not
what?
gonna cape as a black dude. That's just not me.
Yeah, it goes too far
Right,
at a certain
and
point.
yeah, yeah. It's like, why would you cape as a black person when you don't share the same HLA markers with them? Like you share more HLA markers with people in countries where they don't even identify as black for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
Mm.
And
And
another
my
thing
thing
too, I
is,
had to learn. Yeah, like, you know,
Yeah.
as a man, it's like if you're mixed, you know, you speaking for the black community, like that's not gonna set right. Like
Oh,
in
that's
terms
not
of
good.
like, yeah, like you know,
No, it's not.
experience and stuff. They're gonna be like, you're light skinned. You're gonna have a totally different. Like you don't even really count like that. And then it's like, and then that's when you really see the truth.
Especially
Yeah,
if you're being critical too. If you are
yeah,
being
Oh yeah.
critical, now if you're talking the whole fist in the air, I'm pro black, you know, black power, and fuck white people. Yeah, they're fine. You know, they're fine with that. But if you're a little critical, oh no, they're gonna be like,
yeah.
nah, shut up. You're light
About
skinned. Your mom's
profiles and
white.
Mm.
stuff. Yeah,
Mm.
It's easier for me to be an ally than to be a participant because I mean
yeah,
I've never
Right.
experienced racism. I never had racism in my whole life. I don't know what that's like, right? So I can't speak on behalf of people who have experienced racism. You know, that's just not my culture,
Right.
basically.
Right. Okay.
So
Right.
I just, if I were to stand in front of a room of black people and talk, I just would be making myself a target.
I have some more too.
Right.
There's some good ones.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll read off like two of the questions and then y'all can discuss. There was one, I have a question. So what's the main ethnicity do most of you guys prefer to date? And then another one is, my granddaughter is mixed race. If you could give her any advice, what would it be?
Ooh, so for the granddaughter,
Mm.
I want to tell her, please listen to this. I want her, there's so many mixed kids out now. There's so many mixed kids growing up in different neighborhoods. She needs to find a really good friend group of mixed girls that she can be with and grow up together, and she'll be fine.
My thing
You
to
know,
the granddaughter, depending on her age, is do not ever feel pressured from one side or the other to identify as one thing or the other. And if anyone asks you, what are you don't have to say you're black, you're white, you're mixed. Find what you feel comfortable with, identify yourself as that, and don't let anybody tell you who and what you are. And that's it.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
I
agree.
would just say, yeah, just, I would say to the granddaughter, yeah, just understand like what you are and that you are a part of a group of people that isn't really going to be talked about much in society, at least not their experiences. So you have to talk about, so you have to identify with who you are and your own experiences because the world, the media, they're not really going to cover your experiences really.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. There's another one too. I don't know if you guys want more
Oh, can I say
questions.
about the
Oh wait,
question?
oh they
Yeah,
also asked
please.
what ethnicity would we prefer to on date. That's what she also asked too.
Yeah, I missed
Oh
that
Mm.
yes,
question.
please, please. And yeah.
For
I
me, I would say definitely mulatto. I would love to date mulatto, either mulatto or white. That's because that's what I grew up with.
For me, I'm open really to all
Yeah.
different races, but I will say I tend to do the best with white women, but seeing the community building and me learning what a lot of mixed race women experiences and how similar it is to me as a man, I do want to do my best to pursue a mulatto type of woman as well. That's top priority for me. Seeing the community growing and just knowing our experiences, even though it can range from different, experiences, but we in terms of relatability, it's hands down number one choice for me.
I think there's a renewed
Yeah.
pride in who we are right now, and
Hmm.
we want to try to
Yeah.
pass that down now.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
date who's ever hot. That's like
Who's
kind of
ever
my.
yeah.
hot?
I just like
Who's ever
I
Good
hot?
like hot
values too. Good
guys.
values.
I don't know. I've always dated like
Yeah.
anything and everything. I've never like had one or the other, whatever. But I do like
Same.
the idea of having a mixed man.
Yeah.
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 I
Now with me, oh sorry, I mean, do you want to go first?
Oh, okay. Thank you. I've dated black, white, Asian. I would date black, white, Asian. I don't have a preference, but that is because I come from a city where there's so many different people and I've traveled all around the world. So I'm used to being around different types of people. So I don't have a
Yeah.
preference.
Okay.
My preference really is like I've mostly like dated white, and I wouldn't mind trying to date like mulatto, but and we do have quite a bit of like mulattoes here, but a lot of the mulattoes really they're usually into mottos or they're just super black identified to the point where it's hard to relate to them really. That's the only problem for the most part, but I wouldn't mind trying to really date my own kind. Although I do also like white women because I feel like they're. I mean, I don't know, just my experiences. I feel like they're like the ones who've given me like the least problems. Usually, like that's just my personal experience, and it also could be because I graduated from like 90% white high school, but yeah, overall, I wouldn't mind, actually like dating my own race, really.
Hmm.
Can I
I liked
ask
how
about the
I like
dating?
how you said you would try. That made me giggle a little bit. You was like, I would like to try. Like that was funny.
I
No,
think
I
that'd
would
be
no,
try.
I'm saying that because it's really hard here. Like it's really hard because there's not many of us, and we're just all scattered
yeah.
around. And then you got to remember, we don't really have affinity for each other because the average mulatto just pretty much sees themselves as black, or
Yeah.
what I mean. They don't really date within their own kind mostly.
Yeah. And the black
Mm,
community really, at least here in America, like they don't push light skinned, people to really be together. They always be like, oh, you'll look good with this group of people. Oh, you act like this, you move
Yeah.
like this, you look like this. Yeah, go over there to white people. That's usually how black people are gonna handle a light skinned person. I think they do it out
mm.
of competition type of reasons, or that's my best assumption. But then it's like I don't know, man. But I mean, like, I'm just glad, we're all here to talk about these things because now, like, because I had no idea what a light skinned mixed woman goes through on the regular. And I'm hearing lots of different stories. I'm like, oh wow, it's very similar.
Yeah,
And
that's actually our
because in the
next
black
question
community,
here.
it's like, yeah, you're taught not to really go for each other. You're taught, oh, they don't like light skinned people, light skinned women don't really like us. And I'm just like, no, that's the complete opposite.
Hits you hits sugar. I'm sorry. Hits Shige Toshiro. Sorry about that, guys. His comment says thoughts about the different treatments biracial men and women get in the black community and how much gendered it is. I would have to say that mixed women definitely get treated differently than mixed men.
Yeah.
Mixed
Yeah.
mixed
Yeah.
women are the black beauty standard, right? And they're also
Right.
expected to be with black men.
Yeah.
But my
I don't get
question
it.
for the mixed girls is, do you feel that that is related to your race or to your sex?
And
Um,
also, are you fetishized? Because that's a big problem too. A lot of
Yes,
well,
light skinned women will say.
well,
definitely.
yeah, absolutely.
Fetishized.
I mean, I feel like I've been on like dates before, and it'll always come up where they're like, okay, but like, so like, what are you? You know, you get that question, and I tell them, and they're like, surprised. You know, like they're and or they like light up, like they love it. So I never really love that because do I think it adds to the fact that I am good looking? I do think I'm good looking. I think everyone should think they're good looking, but I think it's sometimes harder for women because there's an added layer of like the patriarchy is already like set up in a way. So we're already hypersexualized being women anyway, but you add on top of the fact that we're exotic in these people's eyes, it just adds even more on top of being a woman and being fetishized being a woman, but now
Yeah.
being like fetishized being mixed on top of it, it's like really hard to date. It's really hard to trust whether or not someone's dating you for the right intentions or whether or not they want like a cute little light skin on their hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now in the white community, ambiguity is the top beauty standard, if you can believe it or
Mm.
not. So that makes it that's like that
Yeah,
adds
that's
another
why.
layer to the
Well,
fetishization, you know?
yeah, and that's why like you hear like so many like white females are starting to like tan and whatnot, like which has been going on for a long time because they want to have like a more Mediterranean
Yeah.
or Hispanic sort of look more so. So yeah, the beauty standards have definitely changed over time because the demographics have changed over time, really. And there's just a lot more of us being born, as you see. So um, yeah, I can understand that that can definitely be hard if somebody is into you because they just want somebody light skinned, or if they see you as a person for the most part. And I think that's also something that mixed race men have to go through as well, though. Because like you have to remember, like mixed race men are heavily seen as just what I'm saying, like very very I don't know, like very exotic and just very desirable. So that's also something that we have to go through if like, okay, is this person actually into me, or does this person really just see me as a fetish for the most part?
Right.
Yeah. It
Let's
can
do
be
two more
tough.
questions before we close because my phone's dying. 006265 says, do you guys feel uncomfortable when you're around black people that talk negative about white people, or when you're around white people, do you talk negatively or racially about black people? Ooh.
I mean, it's like I'm pretty upfront and honest. I don't really sugarcoat, but I do have to keep in mind it's like it's so easy to get into an argument with these things with either one, but especially the black community. And it's like when you try to tell them that, hey, that's not really true. Like if you come over here and if you come at it from this angle, you will see a different side. They're
Yeah.
like, oh no, well, you see you're light skinned, so you're privileged. And I'm like, nah, man, if you like position yourself a certain type of way, you carry yourself normally, you don't like I guess to a lot of black people are like, well, I'm going against my culture if I don't carry myself this way. And I'm like, dude, man, like being black doesn't have to be the stereotypical norm, man. You can just be yourself, and which really everybody should need to be doing that. And yeah, there are positive and awesome things in the black community that should be, very, gate kept, but at the same time, degeneracy, I don't care if it's popular, that should not be the staple, of what
I
should be
agree.
active. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a big problem right now.
yeah, because when you're coming around different communities, they're already thinking, oh, they're probably like this and like that. Me, knowing how diverse the black community is, I don't look at it like that, but I always surprise a lot of people. They'd be like, oh, you're friends with him? He got the face tattoos and this and that. I'm like, bro, man, like, nah, he's a cool person. Yeah, he made some mistakes back in the day. He'd been incarcerated, but dude turned his whole life around. He's working just like me. So yeah, like it's really just people just being culturally unaware and not having an open mind. I think is really the biggest problem.
Yeah, they're in their silos. They don't get out. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
get some white friends, people. It's really not that bad.
Yeah.
I promise you.
They
My
said,
last question. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, sorry. They said I meant more along the lines as a light skin, someone might confuse me as white and start talking racially about black people. Okay, I feel like I can answer this one because maybe some people might think I'm white, I guess. I don't really think so, but that's what I've been told quite lately on the internet. You're a white girl. You're a white girl, so I guess I am. But I would say like I've never been in this. I've never been the person where people thought they could go like talk shit about black people around me. So it's never happened. So I don't know. I've never. I also grew up in a small town where people knew my dad. My dad like coached basketball and football. He was very much like involved in our community. I lived down the street from my principal, and like across the street was like the lawyer or whatever. So I never really got into those spaces where people thought it was okay to talk shit about black people around me. But I don't know if you guys have experienced that. But I think
Yes.
that's what he was kind of getting at in that question.
So I live here in Charleston and here in the South, and I mean I'm around white people a lot, obviously. My town, I live in Mount Pleasant. It's like 98% white, right? White people don't talk about race at all. They barely ever say anything about it, right? But unfortunately, whenever they do, it has to do with the degeneracy, right? So we need to seek some black excellence because I think that ends up reflecting on people that it has no relation to, unfortunately. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. I think also the biggest issue is just, with the whole mainstream media has to change with literally literally just the black community. It has to change with the mainstream. Like I hate the fact that it's just like it takes changing the image of mainstream to really get people to move a certain type of way when honestly you should just be able to detach from degeneracy and hey, if you're an outcast, you can that should be okay, find a good group of people and maneuver, but a
Yeah,
lot of
the media
people
has gotten really bad. I mean, because if
yeah.
you think about like the 80s and the 90s, we had the Cosby Show, we had all kinds of TV shows about black families, like Family Matters and all Parenthood and all these other shows that doesn't exist anymore. It's
Yeah.
Bad Girls Club, it's Zeus Network, and those type of things reflect bad on all black people, unfortunately, because people stereotype.
And and another thing too, I seen a video the other day. This was a African man, yeah, black dude. He went down to South Africa because there is a white only community, and the media painted it as like really racist, anti everybody else. But he goes over there and like the white people treat him good, and he just basically said, "Hey man, we just want to run things a certain way, a certain type of structure. We
Yeah.
welcome anybody that comes over here, like it's not, I mean, I do understand how that can be a risk and kind of scary to a lot of people, but at the same time, it's like having an open mind and putting yourself in that position that literally just changes the entire everything, because even with us mixed race Afro people out here, with us calling us, like I like to call us the golden race people, a lot of black people are going to see that as delineating from the black race, which, listen, we're proud of our blackness, but we're going to have a different experience. Us being multi-generational, first generational mix, our outlook on life is going to be very different. We just want to gatekeep so we can have our own representation, and we can properly, keep some control within us compared to, other communities. So they're not controlling and putting out false information on us.
Yeah, for sure. Any last words before we end it?
Well,
We
I'd
have
like
a
to.
Just that I
we
love
have
y'all.
a guest.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you up there. My
Go
bad.
ahead, please. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
My name is Kevin. I'm also biracial, and had a hard time growing up being biracial because I was raised by my single black father. My mother, she passed away when I was young, and I lived in Hamtramck, Michigan, so out, the city inside of the city of Detroit. And it was just one of those things where it was like, I was white boy, white boy, white boy,
Yep.
and you know, so I had to do a little tussling back when I was younger. And my dad, we wound up moving back to Sacramento, and my white family loved me, and my black family loved me, and you're struggling with your identity, and when black people you meet say that you ain't black, and then but then they embrace Colin Kaepernick or Jennifer Nicole Freeman, or so you're only black if you're famous
Mhm.
or
Yep.
or a female, and that's the part that gets me. It kind of bothers me actually, and I was just wondering if any of you felt that way.
Oh yeah, it's
Heck
use and
yeah.
abuse, 100%.
Mm.
So if they're
Like, all my
when they're
life.
done abusing us and we become famous or rich, then they can use us, right?
Right,
Like,
and
see, we got our first black this. I'm like,
Yep.
same thing with Obama,
And I
Yeah.
was raised by a single black man in Detroit, and I'm not black. Like, what are you talking
Right.
about? So, yeah, that was my take on this. And I just wanted to see if anybody else has experienced this or felt the same way as me. And it's great that, that you guys have a platform and that we're talking about this stuff. So I appreciate it. And I love you and much respect, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We really
you.
Hell
appreciate
yeah, you
you.
take
Thank
it easy,
you.
man.
All right, you too. Thanks.
That was good. That was nice.
All right, Golden.
So yeah,
Do you
it's
have
my
any
phone
last
is
words?
dying. My phone's dying, unfortunately, so we have to cut it off. But it's
Well,
been a pleasure. I do want to say
yeah.
that find us on Suburban Mulattoes on TikTok. And then we'll be here every Sunday at 8 p.m. to do another show.
Eastern, 8 p.m.
Eastern. Yeah,
Eastern.
8 p.m. Eastern. That's correct.
Heck yeah.
So thank you
Do we
guys
just
for coming.
save the link or something?
Um,
Is it the same link?
did I send you a link or did
Oh,
Jay send you a link?
yeah, I'm gonna have to ask.
Somebody
Voices
But
about
if
that.
you're on our YouTube channel, it should show that it's live when it's 8 o'clock.
Oh,
It
on
should
okay.
be, yeah, but we can send you like it should literally be on this channel, and then there'll always be a link at the top to the StreamYard, so y'all can
Yeah.
join the panel.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right, you guys, you have a great night, okay?
have a great
Yeah,
night.
y'all take
Thanks.
it
And
easy.
have a
This was
great Super Bowl
awesome,
tomorrow.
man. I can't wait to do more of these.
Yeah, come
Love
back for
y'all.
sure. Good night, guys.
Bye,
Yeah,
y'all.
y'all
Bye-bye.
take it easy.
Good night.